Okay, we started the lectures on spirochetes yesterday, and we covered one aspect, that is treponema and spirochetes in general, and we are now proceeding to do the remaining part, and that would be the genera Borrelia and Leptospira. So again, they are typical spirochetes. We are not going to describe them again. We're just going to mention a few aspects, laboratory aspects, clinical implications, laboratory investigation, and antibiotics. And it is one of those spirochetes. It fits in with the description we had yesterday, except the organism. They are still microscopic, but they look a little bit bigger. They are broader than other spirochetes. And then some species of Borrelia are stemable, but not easy. One still has to do a lot of manipulations here and there, modify reagents here and there, but there are some species that have been stemmed successfully and demonstrated using modified gram-stem, and they appear as gram-negative cells. They have also been stained on dry blood films by Gienza or Wright stain. When it comes to culture, in the laboratory, they are not easy to culture. But like treponema, there are attempts which have succeeded, but they do not grow easily. Just like they don't stain easily, they don't grow easily. So it is something that clinicians don't request for routinely because it's not performed routinely. And some species have been shown to grow, and this would be experimentally trying various methods, modifying the media. And some species have grown on enriched media, which are specially formulated to provide the necessary nutritional requirements. So it is something, again, that is experimental and has shown that they can grow, but it's not practiced in bacteriology, diagnostic bacteriology. And those that grow, they are incubated under microaerophilic conditions. So there are many species. As a genus, it has very many species, and we are going to mention some of them that are associated with human infection. And to start with, we have a species referred to as Borrelia recurrentis. And this particular one is associated with an illness. Are you communicating with somebody else, Han? You want a break also? Can.
No, I had received a call from my father, so I'm good now.
So we are talking about the species, and we have mentioned the first one, Borrelia recurrentis, as being one of those that are associated with human beings. They are not like Borrelia recurrentis. It might not be as common as it used to be in those days when many people lived in areas where the standards of cleanliness were low, but it might be somewhere where people are still living under those standards. The illness that is associated with this organism is referred to as louse-borne relapsing fever. That refers to its transmission. It's a fever, an illness that manifests with fever, that is the organism is transmitted by lice, and it is referred to as louse-borne relapsing fever, or louse-borne borreliosis, or epidemic relapsing fever. So where there are many lies, we'll explain that later. Then there are also other species of Borrelia which cause human infection, but they are transmitted by ticks. So there's Borrelia transmitted by blood-sucking ticks. One of them is Borrelia leptospira. Then there are many others which are associated with the relapsing fever also, but their genus is Borrelia, And the species name is the scientific species name of the tick that is responsible for their transmission. And there are quite a number of them. So the type of relapsing fever that is associated with this is referred to as tick-borne relapsing fever or tick-borne borreliosis or endemic relapsing fever. Then there's another species that is also transmitted by ticks, but it's not encountered in our part of the world. It is isolated in some countries in the temperate regions, and it is transmitted by hard ticks from mammals. Among those animals, they are organisms that might have this organism, and it causes human illness in those people when they get it from this tick, and it is also associated with fever, but that illness has a widespread associated with it, and it's referred to as Lyme disease. So this one will not discuss it further, but you can read about it, and it's good to know about it. Then, thirdly, among the oral cavities side of it, we said some of the normal flora in the mouth are spirochetes, and among them, we have spirochetes as well. Transmission of Borrelia that are associated with relapsing fever. So we mentioned Borrelia recurrentis. This one is transmitted by lice, body lice from person to person. I don't know whether you've done etymology. So it is found in people. There are some who carry, there are some that get infected, but it is something again that is restricted to human beings. So the infected humans in communities with the organisms in the blood from the reservoir. And the organism leaves that human being through a tick. When the tick goes, or not a tick, a louse. When the lice feed on humans, on the blood, they suck out the blood and they suck out the organisms as well. And the entry, again, is through broken skin. Again, it doesn't have to be a big tear on the skin or a big wound. It could be something very shallow, something very small. And when these lice bite, I guess there's some itchiness, so maybe the person is forced to rub that part. So rubbing or crushing the infected lice would release the fluid containing the spirochetes, and that facilitates transmission. So it is something that is that occurs very easily in overcrowded. Overcrowding in places then the tick-borne one, Borrelia Leptospira. This is from ticks, and humans acquire the organisms through broken skin as well. It could be a tick bite. When it bites, it creates a small tear there where it has bitten. And let me move this closer to me. So the ticks bite where they bite, where that biting takes place, they create some opening. And when they can transmit the organisms through that bite, or the tick can be crushed again. The organism between the animals. This one is from animals. It feeds on one animal and feeds on another, and somewhere in between it transmits the organism. And again, it transmits it to humans. So it originates from the animals, then okay, so these infected animals, there are quite a number of them. It could be a rodent, it could be a pig, it could be armadillos, so it could be porcupines, but together with the infected pigs, they constitute the reservoir. Has something to do with manifestations. It's fever that relapses. So whether it is from through ticks or from lice, it is the same illness characterized by fever and a febrile period. So febrile and a febrile period. Fever that comes, lasts a few days, then it goes, then it comes again. And that qualifies for the name relapsing or recurrent fever. So during the time the fever is on, that is the febrile period, you can lack the Borrelia, the spirochetes are plenty in the blood circulatory system. And because of their presence, the immune system is stimulated. And there are some antigens on these Borrelia in that blood population in the blood circulatory system that are recognized by the immune system. And antibodies are formed and are released within a few days. So the antibodies act together. And because of their effects, there's marked reduction in Borrelia in the blood circulatory system, and the fever subsides. Then after about 4 to 10 days, the fever returns or recurs, and the spirochetes also appear in the blood circulatory system. And that amounts to a relapse, and this is something that happens several times. I guess usually maybe the immune system manages to get rid of all the organisms, but it is something that happens. You get a population there, reduce markedly, the fever subsides after some time, with a large number of organisms again, and there are antibodies formed, they disappear, and it happens again and again. So sometimes, most of the time, it's just fever. It comes and goes. But there are some few cases where the internal organs might be involved, but that is not a common manifestation. What happens during each febrile episode? A few organisms in that life population in the blood circulatory system undergo mutation, and that mutation affects the antigenic components or determinants. So they undergo anti-mutation and acquire new antigenic determinants, which differ structurally from the previous ones. And that phenomenon is what is referred to as antigenic variation. So you have a large population, a few of them. Initially, the immune system recognizes the common antigenic component. And as the body goes to make the antibodies in that period, not long, some of those organisms bearing the antigenic component, which had been recognized by the immune system, they change. So the antigenic component changes. So the organisms with the new antigenic determinant, they are not recognized by the time the antibodies are released, and they constitute a new strain. So they are not recognized by the circulating antibodies at the time, and therefore are not eliminated. And they are the ones that multiply during that febrile period. They are multiplied. Then they reach a certain level that now becomes are able to cause the fever. So the fever returns. Then even that new strain, where once the body has recognized that new antigenic determinant, as it makes the antibodies, some others undergo mutation and new antigenic components are formed. So it is what goes on over and over again. And as we said, with time, maybe the immune system gets control and it comes to a stop. So to confirm that in the laboratory investigation of relapsing fever, which involves detection of Borrelia species in peripheral blood, and the chances of detecting the organisms in the blood are higher if it is done during the febrile episode when the organisms are mimicked in the blood circulatory system. The way to detect them can be through direct microscopic examination of a drop of blood for motile spiral organisms. It can also be through examination of dry cells by Bielsa or right fin and dark field microscopy or phase contrast microscopy also work. One will be able to see the spiral motile organisms. Special microscopes. And that will be more reliable where these types of microscopes are available. Then there are many other different methods of investigation. And for antibiotics, they are waiting like tricholinum are susceptible to penicillin. Another species or another group of Borrelia that is found in the mouth among the oral cavity spirochetes. And they are relatively few in comparison to other bacteria found in the mouth as normal flora, but they become significant under certain circumstances. Again, these used to be very significant some years back, maybe during the World War II. They are capable of causing ulcerative lesions in the mouth. Specifically, these are referred to as ulcerative gingival stomatitis and ulcerative oropharyngitis. And it is also a condition that is using the terminology of the term trench mouth. So again, it is not very prominent at this age because of the improvement in the oral cavity hygiene. These again Borrelia spirochetes in the mouth. It's not easy to classify them, but if you read the old textbooks, you'll come across species being referred to as Borrelia vincenti. Again, there are some books talking about Tricholinum vincenti. So they are not easy to classify. So it's safer just to refer to them as spirochetes. So these ulcerative lesions, when they occur, they don't occur in their own. They are predisposing factors. One, they can occur where there are other abnormalities, traumatic injuries in the mucosal surfaces, in the mouth. They can also occur where there is malnutrition, particularly vitamin deficiency. And then they are caused together with other organisms, other members of the oral cavity, normal flora. Some of them are straight generals, but when these ulcerative lesions occur, there's a whole mixture of organisms that are found in them. Most of these organisms which are found in the mouth are normal flora. So that is Borrelia. If you look at Leptospira, Again, these are uncommon organisms, but they are detected in some places at one time or the other. The Leptospira spirochetes, again, microscopically appear narrower than the other spirochetes. And they are described as organisms with numerous have a characteristic motility, which is described as vigorous motility. Otherwise, they are visible using the depth field microscope, phase contrast, or electron microscope. They are also scannable by special methods, among them fluorescence scanning methods, and small as they are, they can be cultured artificially in specifically formulated enriched media. These are specifically prepared to suit their requirements for growth, and these media are available on commercial basis. It can be in a liquid form or it can be in a semi-solid preparation, and they are incubated at obligate levels. They grow slowly. The growth from specimen can take 6 to 14 days, or it can take a longer time than that. And a long time ago, when people used to culture viruses on embryonic eggs, it was also discovered that Leptospira can also grow on that. But because one can now get a medium that is now applicable, because where you have a synthetic medium, it is easier to use the synthetic medium. So there are species in the genus Leptospira. As a genus, there are many organisms within it, and like other spirochetes, these organisms, they are saprophytic organisms, and they are potential pathogens. So there are some which are completely saprophytic, and there are some which are saprophytic but are potential pathogens. So when one mentions the species, there are only 2 species in the genus. But each species has very many serotypes. So if we look at the species, there's one, Leptospira interrogans. This is a name because of its shape, like a question mark. It's hooked up at the ends, and somebody compared that to a question mark, so it's labeled interrogans. And there's one serotype among the many serotypes in that species. One serotype there, I've mentioned it on your slide. It is associated with rodents, and it is a potential pathogen to humans. Then the second species is Leptospira biflexa, and the serotypes of Leptospira biflexa are saprophytic. There are many saprophytes in the environment. So if we look at the serotype that is associated with human disease, it is parasitic to small animals, including rodents. They just carry a few of them will get exposed to it, acquire it, and carry it. And they carry it in their kidneys, some parts of the kidney. But there's no disease infestation in those animals, and it can also infect bigger animals, like domestic animals, but most of the time, or the reservoir would be the rodents. So these infected small animals, the rodents, provide the reservoir, and they pass it out in their urine as they pass urine. And by doing so, they contaminate the environment where they are. So these organisms naturally are in the environment, in areas which are infested by rodents. Some of those rodents carry the organism, and they are concentrated as saprophytes in water or damp soil. And then transmission to humans is accidental and it occurs through exposure. This exposure is through contact with the infected urine of the animal. So most of the time one is not get into contact with urine directly. Very unlikely to occur. So most of the time it is through contaminated soil or water. Then the clinical significance to humans. It is an organism that causes an illness referred to as leptospirosis. And the organism enters into humans through broken skin or mucous membranes, and it goes into the blood circulatory system. Infection is associated with invasion into the blood circulation, and it causes septicemia. So there's no tissue reaction at the point of entry. What manifests first is the manifestations related to the septicemia. And because of septicemia, there's hematogenous spread to various internal organs, including kidneys. And for those who acquire it, the invasion occurs in the kidneys, they are able to pass this organism in their urine. So there are some people, because of their occupations, they are more likely to get exposed, and they are more likely to get infected. But everybody is at risk, but their risk is a little bit increased. These are people who work in damp places populated by rodents. Some of those rodents might be infected, might carry the organism, might pass it out in their urine. These damp places would be swamps or swampy areas, plantations, maybe sugarcane or rice plantations, sewer workers in the mines. So those people doesn't know whether there are rodents there or not, but there might be. And then some of those rodents, it's not always there. Only some might be harboring your food. So the human leptospirosis, when it manifests, it's variation. It might not manifest. It can be asymptomatic, but it can also be moderate or it can be a severe illness. The symptomatic leptospirosis initially is characterized by septicemia, which we had mentioned earlier. That is referred to as septicemic phase. And the manifestations might be very mild or non-specific signs of symptoms. Something that is out there, no specific, not know that is due to the Leptospira species. So it can develop also into severe illness, and the severe illness is from that cell in that organ, the functions of that organ might not be able to be carried. Also the inflammatory processes, the pain, associated with that particular organ. So for the laboratory again, one is needs to presence of the spirochetes in specimen, and there are also serological tests that can be performed. And like organisms. There are also molecular methods of looking at that. So the specimens that I examined, can't hear me again? You still can't hear me? Now, if you can't hear me, if you are not hearing. So laboratory investigation is what we are doing. And we're mentioning the laboratory tests or procedures that can be performed. And we have mentioned it involves them showing the organism in a specimen. The specimen can be blood, it can be urine, it can be tissue, and we have mentioned there are some serological tests which can be applied, and thirdly, like other laboratory tests in the present age, molecular methods. So I don't know where my speaker is. I can see the camera. I don't know whether it's the one that has the speaker. But all in all, the procedures involve detecting the organism through culture. We mentioned that there are media, laboratory media that can support both where it is suspected. One can get the medium, you can carry out cultures. Then dark field microscopy can work. One will be able to see the organism, and this is more likely in just a specific case if one examines the blood. Then serological test, detection and demonstration. Detection of the antibody for that specific serotype. And then if it is detected, one to try to determine rising levels. And this usually involves taking two samples. One at the beginning when the patient is seen, and another one later on after 2 weeks. And it should be a rising antibody level. Again, that is not easy practically, but that is what has been found to be more meaningful. And then the DNA detection and amplification in any of those specimens. So for antibiotics, the same antibiotics are effective like for other spirochetes. And then the aspect of prevention, where the organism is detected in that region. There should be a way, if there is a way, there should be reduction of infection in wild and domestic animals. Wild animals, that is a big part, but domestic animals, maybe there are ways of treating them and reducing the number of organisms in them. And again, for the animal, there can be preventive measures by vaccinating them. And then because of exposure, we mentioned people working in damp areas, if they can wear boots or gloves or shoes that will cover their body so that they don't get into contact with a contaminated environment. And that would be the last slide.